Good evening, and we'll call the meeting to order in accordance with the South Carolina Freedom of Information Act, Section 30-4-80E, South Carolina Code 1987, as amended. All the media in the immediate area have been notified of the date, time, location, and agenda of our meeting. We'll have our prayer by Mr. Govan, followed by the pledge with Mr. Jeffords.
Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we come again to ask your guidance, your direction, as we try to do the business of the Darlington County School Board, that of the citizens of Darlington County and our students. We ask that you will direct us and guide us. We ask that you will give us wisdom to do what is best. And when we leave this place, we ask that you will give us traveling mercies as we return back to our respective homes. We ask this in your name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any citizens? I take a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Are there any citizens' comments? We have a second on the agenda. Moving forward, consent items. I'll take a motion to approve our July 13th minutes.
I move that we approve the July 13 minutes.
Second.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Let's see, our next meeting will be August the 24th at 6 p.m. here in the room, and then our next regular meeting will be September 14th at 6 p.m. here in the administrative room. Honors and awards. This is exciting. This is very exciting for us.
Yes, ma'am. So I am pleased to share that our communications office, Mr. McKagan, has won 2 national awards in recognition of his video production last year. He's actually won 2 awards for 2 of the videos that he produced last year. So if y'all would, I'd like to take a few minutes to re-show those videos so that you know which ones were nationally recognized. The first one is the video on Why Do You Teach?
Well, I've been told at a very early age that I was going to be a teacher. And when I decided that, as I look back at my years coming through school myself, I was like, yes, I was doing everything to prepare myself to always be a teacher, except getting a degree to teach. But now I see there is a need for our children to value education.
So I became a teacher, and I've not ever regretted that decision. And I'm grateful for the opportunity. And I continue to teach because seeing a child get that spark for learning and ignite that fire and that passion makes it all worthwhile.
My favorite part is just seeing them grow as people and finding out what they love. I absolutely love being a teacher. I know sometimes it can be hard. There are days that you go home and you're like, oh, that was a hard day. But at the end of the day, just getting to see these kids and love on the kids and help them learn and grow to be adults is something that's truly amazing.
I really enjoy the students. I enjoy singing songs because we love, in kindergarten, we love songs. We love to dance. I love to celebrate the little things, birthdays with my students, building those relationships each and every day. I love the morning greetings, high-fiving my students, getting a hug in the mornings, and just watching them do their very best and work hard every day. And I love when I see that light bulb come on.
It's always there in the back of my mind to produce a student that's going to be viable in our community, that's going to take us where we need to go, maybe the next physicist or chemist that there is out there, and that can solve our real world problems. And that is what I really want to get them to know, that they are important because they are valuable. We're going to need them later in life.
I want a positive classroom, like a classroom family. So I expect myself to grow a lot. I expect my students to grow and get the best out of the school year.
My expectations for my students is that we'll have even higher EOC scores than we had last year just because we're going to master that content together. But my expectations for me is just that I even grow in my ability to teach, and not even that, but like adding new ways to teach the material and use the textbook and find cooler ways for them to see that content.
For my classroom, I really want us to grow. I really want us to start not just learning standards, but learning how it all comes together, and not only that, how we actually are using what we're learning in our everyday life.
I am always in awe of how spectacular our teachers are and how much they have to offer and the passion they have for helping their students and how they genuinely love and adore what they do and the students with whom they work and how they want those children to succeed. That is something that I feel like people don't understand and that sometimes people forget, that sometimes gets lost in translation, that we have teachers who genuinely love what they do and the children with whom they work every single day.
So that was one of the videos that won a national award and a state award. And we have one more because Chris is not to be outdone in just one win. School is more than a building. It's where dreams take shape, friendships grow, and futures are built. And it all begins with showing up, because every day counts. When students are present, they don't just learn today's lesson, they strengthen skills, deepen relationships, and take another step towards graduation, college, and careers. When teachers and staff are present, they model commitment, reliability, and the belief that every day matters. Attendance isn't just about marking a roll, it's about keeping doors of opportunity wide open. Even a few missed days can add up, making it harder to catch up and harder to reach those goals. This September, as we join schools across the nation in celebrating Attendance Awareness Month, we want to remind our families and community, presence is power. So let's work together, families, teachers, and neighbors, to make attendance a priority. Help us ensure that our students are in school, on time, and ready to learn. Because in Darlington County School District, success starts with showing up. Every day counts, for each child, every day. So we have so many great stories in Darlington County to tell, and I am thankful for Chris, who can take hours and hours and thousands of videos, and I've been with him as he took some of them, and I'm still amazed when I see it put in a film. So we want to congratulate him and thank him. And Ms. Hassler, if you would, we've got some awards, and if we can get a picture.
And this night. Thank you.
So my question is, so when you say like nationally recognized or national award, I mean, what does that mean? Is it like?
So Chris and Audrey can help me with some of the context, but there is a national organization of K-12, I think, communication experts. And so there's a state version of that where we submitted these videos and it won the state prize. And so then it got to go to the national conference of how many folks are there? How many districts are represented?
How many districts?
Yeah.
Hundreds. There's thousands of communicators from across the country who are there, from every state and even territories. It is the largest group of school communicators in the country. So.
And so we were recognized as winning for 2 separate videos this year for Chris's work. So it's a really big accomplishment.
Yeah, it's huge.
It is. And Chris, you know, we've always said the best person to tell our story is us, and you are that voice for that, and we greatly appreciate the work and effort that you do.
Good job.
All right. Anybody else want to add anything on that? If not, we'll do our budget reports. Ms. Douglas.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. We have June's reports. These are marked draft pending year-end adjustments and audit. Some of the year-end adjustments have been made, but not all. My team's been working to close out all the other funds and do any of the final accruals. And so this isn't the bottom line, but right now we're showing about a $6 million surplus. I don't think that's going to change dramatically, but it will change some with all the adjustments. It's pretty much in line with last year. We were a little bit more of a surplus this year than last year, but our revenues were up, our taxes. Did anybody have any questions on anything you looked at? The summary reports. And then you have your quarterly reports for emergency, sole source, and minority vendors that we do every quarter, and those are attached.
Anybody have any questions about any of those?
We have met with our new auditors and started the process of pulling information for them. They plan to work primarily on ours the end of September, so we're working hard to get everything together for that so we can.
And what's the name of the new auditors?
Yes, our former auditors, Webster Rogers, are no longer doing governmental audits, and they notified us of that in January. And I know our auditor's name, but don't ask me the firm's name. Andrew Dobson is the auditor that.
Fair enough.
Yep. But we met, Maggie and I met with him last week, and it was a really good conversation. I think it'll be good.
Okay.
And that report's due in December, is it?
It's due December 1st.
Okay. All right.
And they do 11 school districts, so we're one of 11. So very organized. But.
As you are.
I try, yeah. Any questions?
Amen.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have our policy items. This is a second reading for policy JFAB and then JFAB, the rule. You want to just take those together? Okay.
There weren't any changes made on it.
No changes made. I'll take a motion to approve.
I make a motion we accept A and B.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion about these? I think the discussion was held at the last meeting about these policies. All right, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next, this brings us up to something that we've been working on for quite a while, and that is our general obligation bond for our bond resolution. How do you want to do that, Dr. Ferguson?
I think we're going to start with Bob, who is going to talk through some of the finances.
Okay, so Mr. Dameron is our financial advisor and has been with us for many, many years, and he's going to lead this discussion for us as we move into this.
All right, we have a presentation for you, so and I think it's up on the screen now. The first page is the debt capsule report. This outlines what the current district debt exists, and y'all approved the annual bond last board meeting. That'll be issued in late August, 1st of September. But as of today, it's the only bond outstanding or only debt outstanding in the district is your elementary school referendum debt that was done about 10 years ago. That's based on the sales tax. As you can see, the interest rate was 2.75%. It has a maturity of 2033, and it's callable after 2027. But with the interest rate, as we've discussed before, as low as it is and the current interest rate market, we do not envision that being callable. We certainly don't want to give away a 2.75% interest rate for a 4. So as we're looking at current rates today, it's about 4%. So that's the only debt that's outstanding. I will tell you that the collections from sales tax are running way ahead of where we had projected them to be 10 years ago when that referendum went to the vote of the people. So it's generating extra money in addition to its payment. It also already has 1 year's of payment already in the bank, so to speak. And so, with that, that's kind of where we're headed. Each year, that extra money that comes in is able to put. So every year, we're able to borrow a little bit of that extra money for the school district through your annual bond, which is why you're issuing $16 billion this year. But it's working, and the good news is it's on schedule, and it's probably going to pay off early. The next page is a graph, and as you can see, this graph shows how the referendum bond that's being proposed will be paid. You notice those numbers on top of those bars each year are 30.3 mils, which is the mill value that's currently in existence. I'd like to flip to the next page. This is the debt service report. So when people say, well, how do you come up with being able to borrow $250 million and not raise taxes? Well, each year the district's been borrowing between $15 and $16 million for the last 2 or 3 years. We projected to continue to be able to do that based on the 30.3 mils. So instead of borrowing that much money each year, we're going to go to the voters. The voters will approve, hopefully, a $250 million authorization. And we'll use that stream of money that you've been borrowing each year, that $15 or $16 million each year, to make payments on that $250. And it's kind of like building a house and buying a house or trying to pay for a house a little bit at a time. Nobody does that. You have to go to the mortgage market, you borrow the money to buy your house, and then you pay for it over a 20, 25-year period of time. That's the same way a referendum works. So as opposed to trying to build a little piece of that house each year, and in 20 years, now the cost of the house is going to be double what it would have been had you built it 20 years ago. The school district's going to be able to go use $250 million today in today's money and pay a tax-exempt interest rate lower than you or I could borrow personally, and be able to fund that $250 million referendum by those same taxes that you've got coming in now. But the good thing is you're able to be able to price the building of those schools that you're building with this 250 based on today's inflation rates, not based on what it's going to be in 20 years from now. And so it just makes a lot of sense to do it this way. But again, we're estimating that it will not require a tax increase. You can keep it at the 30.3 mils. We'll be able to borrow the $15 or $16 million every year, but you'll be able to have a little bit extra off of that each year. We're estimating about a 4% growth pattern. That's what it's been the last 5 to 6 years. Some years be a little more, some years maybe just under 4, but on general 4. So as we're projecting the process, we're projecting that the 30.3 mils will service the debt. The way that we would issue this bond is we're only going to issue what you all need when you need it. So just like building a house, you're going to do a construction loan, we're going to do a bond anticipation note each year. That bond anticipation note would then, we would fund what the district is going to need to spend for the first 12 months. That money would be, at the end of that 12 months, we'd issue another bond anticipation note to pay off the old one, and then fund the next 12 months of construction cost. And my guess is, if your district is in the case of other districts that we worked with, sold 2 this summer, one for Orangeburg at $190 million and one for Clover at $156 million. It took them about 3 years to get a high school completed. So my guess is that we're not going to actually be issuing this referendum debt and the final bonds in total until probably 2 to 3 years from now. But we are going to issue each year, we'll operate a little construction loan, and we'll issue a general obligation bond like you did this current year and you did previous year, to continue to do other projects, 8% projects that you need to do, and pay for them out of that 30.3 mils each year.
Can we start right there, because that's where my question is. How to explain how this impacts the general obligation bond that we normally have
You
each
will have
year?
about 2, maybe 3 more years of a general obligation bond being issued at $15.5 to $16.5 million. At the end of that process, we're probably going to use about 14 million of that 16 million from there on to make the payments on the $250 million referendum bond.
For how many years will
So that actual 14 million is probably going to drop down to about 2 for a period of time, not forever, but for a period of time. Now, if the growth rate is higher than what we're projecting, if our interest rate is lower than what we're projecting, and we're projecting these numbers based on 5%. If we sold the bonds today, Orangeburg sold for 4.12%, Clover sold for like 4.16%, so that's a 1% less interest cost than what we're actually using in these numbers for projections. We use 5% coupons on it to be conservative. So in excess monies that are left over from the bond proceeds being, or the bond payments being less than we anticipate 3 years from now, we'll be able to go into that annual bond. Any growth that's above the 3.5% to 4% rate that we're thinking is going to happen would go into that annual bond each year. So our goal is to keep the bond at 30.3 mils. That millage has been in place for about as long as I can remember. I don't know how long it's been, but it's been 5 years maybe, or longer probably.
At least 6.
Maybe 6. And one point in time it was higher than that. So that's the nuts and bolts of how we can do this as opposed to having a millage increase. And even though it's 250 is approved, it doesn't mean that you have to borrow 250 million. If the projects come in on target or a little less than what is anticipated, then you can only borrow what you need to borrow. You won't borrow just because the 250 was approved. You borrow what you need. You can't borrow more than the 250.
Is there a time limit on how quickly after we do the referendum that we have to spend it?
That's kind of a legal question, but 5 years.
You have to issue the bonds within 5 years, and then your expenditures are governed mainly by federal tax rules. Basically, you got 3 years to spend every time you issue.
So that 3-year clock starts over every time we issue.
A bond, yeah, and it applies to that particular bond's proceeds.
Okay.
Yeah, all that spend down requirements. And the district on the current bonds that you issue each year has a firm that does arbitrage calculations to make sure that you're meeting those spend down requirements.
I guess I'm just curious, how many years will we only have a few $1 million of that 15 to 16 to spend on other stuff? I guess what I'm still trying to understand.
We're estimating that changes in year 2034, 2035.
Okay, so 8 years.
So then it goes back up to 4.
And we had been borrowing 8 or 9, right, up until a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
So this 15 years, it's not
We
as...
size each year what 30.3 mils will generate, and no more than that. Now, last year it generated a little more, so we had a larger debt service fund balance. In other words, we collected more than what the payments were. So this coming year, we're planning on pulling that down a little bit. We try to not keep a lot of money carved over at the county treasurer's office in the debt service fund, not just this district, but every district in the state. But it's been pretty consistent, pretty standard. Would remind you too that probably in 2031 or 2032, that old sales tax bond will be paid off. I'm sure that you all will have another project that you would want to go back to the voters for probably at that point in time, maybe with another referendum, and extend the sales tax. That's kind of what we did for this sales tax, as the old sales tax was rolling on, you all put it on the ballot, voters overwhelmingly approved it, and you built 3 new elementary schools with those dollars. Haven't run, we don't know exactly what that would generate in the form of a referendum at that point in time, but there's a lot of different purposes that you could be using, so you're gonna have another stream of money that's gonna come available in about 4 or 5 years from an extended sales tax, which you would go back and ask voters to approve.
4 or 5 years, because we're anticipating that we're gonna then pay that one off early, right? Not,
Current sales tax.
It is scheduled to pay off in 2032.
but we think it's gonna
It could
be,
be 2031, which means you would probably be in a vote in 2030 or maybe 2031.
okay.
You usually go back to a vote to extend the sales tax at least 6 months to a year before the sales tax would expire. Because you don't want it to expire and then have to go back on, because then that's a tax increase, because it
Because it comes down, and then you got,
So you
yeah.
just want to just continue as it was before. The current sales tax, as I remember, expired like a February 28th, and March 1st, the new sales tax went.
It's usually April and May, so it's April 30th and May 1st.
When will that bond rate be determined? When the first issue of money?
The bond rate, the borrowing rate will be determined when we actually sell the bonds, which is going to be probably 3 years from now.
Okay, so it could be up or
Yeah,
down.
we'll do short-term, 1-year notes. We're called bond anticipation notes. They're kind of like I try to explain it in a normal people's, how they look at things, because they borrow money to build a house. That's your construction loan. You don't want to borrow you don't want to borrow the full $250 million up front and have it sitting in the bank. It only needs to be borrowed, and you pay an interest on it as you need it. So we do those once a year. The contractors and architects, engineers, Renee's staff will estimate how much the draw is going to be on that first construction phase for a 12-month period of time. We usually do 13 just to make sure, in case we get a little bit ahead, that we got plenty of money to cover. And then we'd issue a bond anticipation note each year for that amount. And the next year, we pay off that bond anticipation note with a new one, and the next 12 or 13 months of need. Based on other school districts that I've worked with in the last 2 to 3 years, especially with high schools. High schools are a little more involved than building elementary school, so those districts each took about 3 years to get it to where they did be. So I'm thinking that if it's approved in November, you probably will have construction documents or begin to look at it sometime in early 27. So we would probably be issuing bands in 27, 28, and then probably the permanent bonds in 29, or possibly the fall of 29. And then each year, you'll still be issuing an 8% bond for that 30.3 mils, because the 30.3 mils does not apply to the referendum debt until we actually sell referendum bonds. So those payments will start in probably 29, which means you'll have at least 2 more years of this $16 million coming in an annual general obligation bond. Any questions?
Anybody else with any questions?
I thank you. I got a better understanding of it now, how it works. So, thank you so
Can you tell me
much.
after the meeting? Can you tell me?
You don't understand it? Okay.
Sometimes I think I do, and then I don't.
I gotta understand.
Yeah, we think that, this is not something we haven't done in other school districts. It's pretty much standard. The key advantage is you're able to build it in today's dollars as opposed to what it may be 2 years, 3 years down the road. And all of them go up in cost. I haven't
But you
seen
feel
any
confident
deflation.
you feel confident in the finances that we've been running, that this is not going to stretch us, it's not, we're going to be able to meet these?
No, I think we're on target. I wouldn't propose more than what you're proposing right now. I think this is pretty much the target number that you're looking for, and it's very possible that, some of these numbers, I know some of the initial numbers y'all had were a little less than this. If they come in less, we don't have to borrow the full 250
Right.
million. And then there's just more money available for your annual 8% bond. But it's a management in process as it moves forward. Any other questions from finance? I know probably got questions from Ben on the legal side.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Dameron, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Always a pleasure to be with you. My job here is pretty simple, Mr. Dameron, I think, is admirably explained.
Just for the audience, this is
Yeah, I'm sorry,
this is
Ben
Ben
Ziegler,
Ziegler.
with Haynes Sinkle Boyd. We've been your bond attorneys for going on 30 years now. I was kind of laughing when someone raised the question of the annual issuances. I remember we did the first of the annual issuances when John Timms was finance director. And I think it was $500,000 in 2005. So we've come a long way in 20 years. But what you have before you from a legal perspective is pretty simple. You're obviously exceeding your 8% debt capacity, so in order to issue these bonds, you have to have a referendum. This resolution is not the bond resolution. If everything goes well and the referendum passes, we will come back after that with a resolution that will provide all the details of the financing. This simply establishes a ballot question. We've worked with staff on the ballot question in terms of the amount, 250 million, various schools that are going to be financed. That's set forth in Exhibit A of the resolution, but this resolution simply directs the Board of Elections in Darlington County to conduct that referendum at the November general election.
And this shows the wording that it will be as
Exact
on the
wording.
ballot.
Exhibit A is the ballot question. It sets forth the amount and also the various school projects that are included. And the law requires you to be relatively specific on that. So if you adopt this, we will get, we've already been in communication with the Election Commission. We will get this over to them immediately, and they'll hold the referendum on November 3rd.
And this is a one-question ballot. I mean, there's not two questions involved
That's
because
right.
this time there is only one.
$250 million for the following projects.
Right.
Yes or no? Great. Well, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure working with you.
All right, do we have a motion to approve?
Yes. I make a motion to order a referendum for the Darlington County School District to consider the question of whether the Darlington County School District is authorized to issue general obligation bond not to exceed $250 million.
Do we have a second?
I second.
All right, is there any discussion? Does anybody have any discussion on, this is kind of our final step before we move forward with this. I just want to say before you, but I mean, I think everyone on the board, we've looked at all of this. We've spent the last 8 months going out, talking to the community, getting feedback. We've adjusted based on the things that we've heard. And I think we've got forth a pretty strong plan to how enhance these schools that we have listed here, which would be a new Hartsville High School, a new Spalding Middle School, and a new Darlington Elementary School.
We need to reemphasize no increase in taxes to do this.
Any other discussions on it? All right, let's do it. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll move forward with that. Woo.
Okay, well, we just did it, didn't we?
We did it.
Time to get busy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn it over to you, Dr. Ferguson.
All right, well,
Thank y'all.
Thank you all.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
the superintendent's update, I wanted again to show a great video from Chris that walks through our first day visits. Thank you to the board members who were able to make it out to all of our schools during those first 3 days. And Chris, again, has done an excellent job that I think may be a national winner next year for turning those visits into a video.
Well, I've been told at a very early age that I was going to be a teacher. And when I decided that, as I look back at my years coming through,
every school year begins with possibility. A new classroom, a new teacher, a new friendship, a new opportunity. Another chance to make a difference in the life of a child. Across Darlington County, our schools came alive once again. Backpacks filled the hallways, classrooms welcomed new learners. Smiles eased first day nerves, and thousands of students took the first step in a brand new journey. Behind every great first day is a team of people who have been preparing for this moment long before the first bell rang. Teachers who planned with purpose, custodians who made every building shine, food service teams who arrived before sunrise, bus drivers who safely delivered students to school, office staff who helped welcome families with a smile, principals and support staff who made sure every child was seen, known, and valued, because every role matters and every child matters. As we visited schools across our district, one thing stood out above everything else: hope. Hope in the eyes of a kindergartner walking into school for the very first time. Hope in a senior beginning one final year before graduation. Hope in the educator who believed this lesson, this conversation, this school year could change the direction of a child's life. That hope is what public education is all about. Our schools are strongest when we work together. Educators, families, school boards, community partners, volunteers. Every person committed to one shared purpose: helping children succeed. That is what makes Darlington County special. Our schools aren't separate from our community, they are the heart of it. In just 180 instructional days, students will learn to read, discover new passions, build lifelong friendships, prepare for careers, walk across graduation stages, and take the next step toward the future they imagine for themselves. Those 180 days matter. Every lesson, every conversation, every act of encouragement, every opportunity, because every child only gets one chance at this school year. Let's make every one of those days count for each child, every day. One team, one dream, each child, every day. A convocation in the arena to a virtual convocation, and I can say, based on the feedback that we got from teachers in the survey, they really appreciated having that time back in their classrooms to prepare for the start of the school year. I also have to give a shout out to our teaching and learning team and the folks who provided the professional development at the district level. It was really strong professional development. Our teachers came together at Black Creek on the elementary side and really planned for those first few week units, and they internalized the lesson. They thought through what the assessment needs to look like, and they planned intentionally for instruction over that first unit. Our high school teachers did the same at Hartsville, our secondary teachers did the same at Hartsville Middle School, and the feedback that we got was overwhelmingly positive from that professional development. What I love about teachers is they'll also tell you where we can improve. So there were some areas that they pointed out about parking. There were wanting some snacks, but I will also say that the food trucks were a hit. So people really liked the opportunity to be able to purchase lunch from the food trucks and not have to leave the site for lunch. Our school visits were also really positive, a great opportunity to get into each one of our schools, talk to our principals, our teachers, our custodians, our food service, and look and see how the first days were going and if there were any needs that were going unmet so that we could make sure that we connected those schools with the right resources. And it has been some days really quiet. I'm like, I can't believe that we have nearly 9,000 students back in buildings for how quiet and smooth it has gone. So I want to thank all of our employees for that start. Also want to give a shout out to Thornwell Elementary. So next month, we saw some releases today across the state on SC Ready data, and I will have a more formal update for all of you in September on what our results look like. But because the state released it just a few hours ago, I'm going to give you a sneak peek and say we are up a little bit in ELA and in math, but I've got to give a shout out to Thornwell Elementary, who went up 13 points in 3rd through 5th ELA and 15 points in 3rd through 5th math. And so they are just knocking it out the park. So we should give them a hand. And they're not the only school that had double-digit increases from last year to this. And so we're ready to celebrate those. We also have some folks where we know we need to be paying a little more attention and make sure that we are growing every classroom, every building, every year. And so there will be more conversations about that. But I just couldn't leave tonight without giving a shout out to Thornwell, because y'all, in 2 years, they have nearly doubled their proficiency rates. And so it is remarkable the work that is going on at Thornwell and how well they have done the last few years. So I want to give Ms. Dargan and her team a big loud shout out. Also wanted to let all of you know that next week we will restart our advisory meeting. So we will have our teacher forum come together next week, and we'll check in with them to see how the beginning of the year went and plan for fall semester. We'll also have our support staff of the year forum and receive feedback from our support staff. And then I think next week or the week after, we also do our faith cabinet and our retiree council, and then we'll also in the next few weeks bring our students back together to check in with them for planning for the first of the year. And then another date I just wanted to make sure that you had on your calendar. We are, as a school board, hosting the joint dinner for Darlington County, all the legislative government councils, and that will be on Monday, August the 31st at 6 p.m., I believe, and we are going to host that at Black Creek Elementary School in that same room where we did the community meeting in Darlington. So just wanted to make sure y'all had that on your radar, and we're planning to come on Monday, August the 31st for the joint Darlington County dinner. And Madam Chair, with that wraps up my superintendent at a glance, but just wanted to again say thank y'all for the referendum. We have put a lot of work into that over the last few months, and so we will transition now to reporting the facts and answering any questions that the voters have, and look forward to those results in November.
All right. Ms. Greery, would you like to lead us off?
Just wanted to remind the community that the Hartsville Downtown Market meets the second Saturday of every month, and Darlington County School District has had a tent there at each event, and Dr. Ferguson is there along with any board members who can attend, and some of the principals come to every one of those events, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a time to come and get all your questions answered on any topic that you may have. Thank you.
Ms. Ford?
I would just like again to congratulate Mr. McKagan on his two videos. I know how hard he works in the district, and when we're out shooting, he makes it such an enjoyable experience, and he always try to get a good shot of everybody. And so just thank you so much for what you do to make the district and how you capture the children and the teachers and everybody. It's, you really capture the essence of the school district, and we thank you for your work. Thank you so very much. And another shout out to Thornwell. I'm proud of that school, because I remember when I got on the board, they were in a dark place, but they're doing well now, and I appreciate that, the hard work of our curriculum department. Thank you all for what you do, the teachers, the school, the principal, and Dr. Nichols, thank you for what y'all do to inspire the children to get their grades up, and we appreciate all the hard work. I thank you, Renee. You always keep the budget simple, straight, plain, that we can understand what you're doing. Thank you so much for making sure you keep the money straight. That's very important. And thank you, Mr. Thank you for supporting our organization, Mr. Shule, on last night. I mean, we just had a very good time for the Voices of Darlington, and he was very, very good to us. And I also want to thank you all for the prayers, the cards, the thoughts that went out in support of my husband's illness. They was, and just for y'all just calling, just a text, that meant so much to me. When you're going through an illness in your family, when somebody just say, how y'all doing, I'm thinking of you, that meant so much to me. And thank you all so much for your prayers. And as we continue with this referendum, I pray that everything works out for us and that we do well, and we out there now, so we got to do what we got to do. That's all I got to say.
Ms. Kelly? Ms. Thompson?
Just one, I love that you guys are sharing our story. It's so exciting to see the positive messages through the videos and other ways that the communications department is sharing the story of what we're doing in the district. Really appreciate that. And then just wanted to say thank you to Ms. Douglas and everybody that communications department too, for everything you guys have been doing to get the information that we need and work through the finances and figure out this referendum so that we can improve our schools. Just all the effort that has gone into that to help us understand what the need is and what we can and can't do. And I'm excited that that we passed that tonight so that we can get started on that process. And hopefully, if the community has questions, that information is now available on our website. And make sure that you're asking the questions. Don't make assumptions. Come to the source. That we have our communications department here that can answer your questions and through our website. So, I'm sure there's a lot of questions out there, and just please, I ask that you just utilize the resources to get the facts about it so that we can, so that voters can have the true information that they need in order to make a decision. We're all here to do the best thing for our students in the district and our community, so we hope you'll support us. But yeah, that's it.
Chris, congratulations. Y'all are doing a good job. Audrey, we appreciate you too. Got a great team there, no doubt about that. Right to Mr. Johnson. How are our vacancies right now? 8, still have 8?
Yes, sir.
Still working on it?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Principals and staff are doing a really good job reaching out to different agencies. Some have flipped, some we feel and got resignations and, trying to work on those as well. So principals doing a good job of reaching out. So it's going good.
I think we had a really good start so far, and I congratulate all our staff for that, and our principals and all our teachers, and I've heard nothing but good things so far. So very good. Thank you very much.
Good.
I too would like to congratulate Chris. I have for years said that I think we need to have done a better job in selling ourselves. And I think we're finally getting that puzzle together to do that. When we pick up a newspaper or watch the news and we see other districts tooting their horn, I say many times we're doing the same thing, except we're just not saying it. And when people look at the district, they look at what we say we are doing, and they can see that we're doing. And that's from industry, that's economic development, that's everything. So I appreciate you all for putting forth the effort and being sure that we are on the map, so to speak, and being seen. I also would like to thank those who have come out to the marketplace on Saturdays, and did not feel it robbery to come and show the time, because I think the public wants to see us there. I think that if we're gonna sell the bond referendum, that we've got to be visible and deal with the tough questions, because there are gonna be some questions. But I think we just have to be visible, try to answer those questions as best, and if not, then direct them to whoever can adequately answer them. That's it.
All right. I don't usually do a long one, but this time I did, because I was collecting up a lot of things. It was so exciting to go out and visit all the schools at the beginning of the year. And I do want to do a quick shout out to Miss Carreri, who she managed to make all the schools and visit every school with us on all 3 days. So that was a big thank you, and I know everyone enjoyed seeing her as well. The cafeteria workers, as usual, were on their game, feeding our children, doing a quick, in the elementary schools, also doing a quick turnaround from the breakfast onto the lunches. And so that was, as always, they're kind of like the heart of the school, and we appreciate everything that they do. Our maintenance crews, big shout out to them. I think every school that we visited, the grass was mowed. It looked, Mr. Schuler thanked them for us, if you pass that along. Sometimes, we get a little testy about that, and they had some obstacles with the rain that came up at the last minute, but all the schools looked great. And then for our custodians, I don't think there was a school that we went into that the halls were, everything was just clean, and, it's a short turnaround now for our custodians and our maintenance guys to kind of do the work that we have. A lot of the schools had new painting that was done. And so everything just looked really refreshed, and I appreciate all the hard work that they did for that. As far as thank you for that information about Thornwell, it's hard to believe that just a few years ago, that school was close to the state threatening to take it over. And I just want to shout out to Ms. Dargan and her team. I mean, that is a remarkable turnaround, and, we need those good stories out there, and that's a great story to tell. And I appreciate her leadership that has brought this school back to where we know that these children can be, and she is proving that. And then I'm going to throw a way back, because I wasn't here last month, and just shout back out to the Hall of Fame. That event was this is our third year doing it, and every year it has gotten better and better. And so Audrey, Chris, Tina, all the crew who pulled that program together. It's the way we should be honoring our people who, graduated from our school system, or whoever worked in our school system, and we honor them with that evening. And I look forward to when does the application process start opening again?
We talked about probably
October. So October applications will be going back out again. So I encourage anyone, if you know someone who contributed mightily to our district, or have left our district as a Darlington County graduate, and the great things that they have done, or if they actually did both. So again, thank you for all of that. And Chris, congratulations to you. And I'm excited about the bond referendum. I'm excited with where we are. And with that, I think that's probably enough for me tonight. So I will move on to our personnel actions. Motion to approve personnel actions.
Madam Chair, I move we approve the personnel action.
Get a second.
Second.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion carries. And I do not believe that we need an executive session tonight. So with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I move to be adjourned.
A second? All in favor? And we are adjourned.